Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the Championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, let me change that graphic first and foremost. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. It's time for your instant match reaction as Leeds United lost at Stamford Bridge 3-2 to a goal in the dying minutes. It's frustrating for me because I thought we played really well. I thought in the second half we were the better side, and I genuinely felt that when we brought on Nonto and Somerville, I'm thinking we're bringing on the big guns now. We're the ones that are gonna win this game of football. Just so happens, they went up and got the winner. Listen, we can, like's been said in the chat, we can hold our head up high. Do you know what I mean? We can hold our head up high because we've gone to a Premier League side. Yes, admittedly they're poor, but they're still Premier League. Let's not forget that when Middlesbrough went there, they beat them 6-1. You could argue on the grand scheme of it, it might help our season out. As much as you don't want to lose football games, Leicester have progressed. They have another game now added to the calendar at home against Chelsea, It's a little bit disappointing because you're thinking, if we get Leicester and then, we've already beaten them twice, we could be on a semi-final, we could be on our way to Wembley. But if we're being honest, the bigger picture is, of course, promotion. I thought we were great tonight. There was some fans in the chat at half-time bemoaning the performance. I even felt in the first half we gave a good account of ourselves. Let's not forget, this was a second-string Leeds United. This was Mateo Joseph, who, by the way, was phenomenal. Could have had his hat-trick, by the way. Could have had his hat-trick. It's his first competitive goal, and he gets 2. And he shows me that if Bamford is injured, then Mateo Joseph can do bits in the league as well. You don't need to worry about playing Pirro in the 9. There are question marks, again, over Pirro's performance. We'll talk about it. No doubt we will. I've got Jay and Gary waiting in the wings. I'll just give my initial thoughts and then we'll get people in. But yeah, I think Archie Gray, what a performance by Archie Gray. Got man of the match by Lee Dixon. Deservedly so. He's up against £200 million worth of midfielder and he bossed it. Little flicks over players' heads. Caicedo he's a physical player, and when you're able to keep him at arm's length at certain times when you're running with the ball, it ain't an easy thing to do. So I thought Archie Gray was phenomenal. Mateo Joseph, great. Anthony in flashes as well. Dan James maybe crossing and shooting not as great as normal, but again he's just back from injury. Ampadu was great in midfield again as well. That's another shout. And again, Cooper, for me, people were saying he's at fault for the second. I don't think he is. I think it's Ampadu. He doesn't track Mudryk, but I thought Cooper was great again. But the thing is, Cooper's probably not going to play again. Do you know what I mean? So it's a good performance. He might play towards the end, I don't know, in some charity minutes or something if we're winning games, but he's not going to be starting again. But I think, to summarise from me anyway, it's like We've gone to a Premier League side. Forget about this money thing. They're worth $1 billion and all that, because Championship teams say that to us. Let's forget about that for a second. But they're a Premier League side, and on their day, very good. Let's not forget they had to roll the dice. They brought on Cole Palmer, they brought on Conor Gallagher. They're 2 best players this season. They had to do that in order to win the game. They're playing with a midfield that cost 150 odds. A World Cup winner in Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, who was last season arguably one of the best players in the world in his position, wanted by Liverpool and Chelsea. These weren't no mugs. They had to bring on Levi Corwell at centre-back at core. So, for us to go there, to score 2 as well, to score first, yeah, we've lost that record, but of scoring first and winning, hold on a couple more minutes, we take it to extra time. But if we're actually being smart about it and sit back, we have to say, do you know what, did we need extra time? Probably not. Because we've got Huddersfield at 12:30 on Saturday. It was just difficult for me to get to the 88th, the 89th minute, and then concede. I'd rather we conceded on the 75th. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of pill to swallow when you concede so late on. But yeah, listen. At the end of the day, some good performances from the squad, and we move, don't we? We move, and like's been said, proud. Exactly, proud of proud of the players. Hoodie says Conor Gallagher isn't one of their best players this season. Well, you don't know what you're smoking, mate. Go check the G&A and then come back to me. At least do your research, okay? Check the G&A and then we'll talk. You listen too much to what people at Chelsea are saying. They're fans. If you have a look at the numbers, I'll find them for you while I bring the guests in anyway, just so you know. Jer coming on, Gary coming on, and Kev coming on. We may have some more joining us a little bit later on as well. Jer, we'll come to you first, mate. You were here. Talk to me, mate. Do we? I'm hoping we don't have to quell any sort of worries on that.
No. I think it's a very respectable performance from a Leeds United side against the Premier Division mid-table side, with a lot of very good young players as well. The big piece for me was great start, really, really strong start, but then you go 2-1 down. What have they got? We've talked about this all year, about this Leeds United side having character and heart and passion, and they showed great character to get back into this game. And arguably, Liam Cooper at the very end there at the corner, times that jump better. It's a header. There's a little bit earlier on, Mateo Joseph just loses the flight of the ball behind the defender, and that's probably his hat-trick. Some absolutely outstanding performances. Archie Gray looked every bit at home against the Premier League side. He made their midfield look like children. Like some of the stuff, slipping at one point, getting up, flicking the ball around one guy, and then jogging past another one at ease. I thought he was excellent. Mateo Joseph, I've been saying it all year. I wanted to see more of him on the park. Wanted to see what he would be like with the better players around him, and 2 incredibly mature finishes by him tonight. Reads the game very, very well. There's a lot of positives to take from this game. I said to you earlier on today, when we were talking at lunchtime, that I didn't want to see Leeds lose heavily. I wanted that momentum for me from this came from the performance that Leeds would put in, and I think the momentum is still there. This Leeds side did themselves no harm at all there tonight. Defensively, I think we saw the weaknesses on the left-hand side of the park, but I'm not going to point out individual players. I thought Junior Firpo gave us an awful lot going forward as well, so I don't think it's fair to have a go at him defensively. We know what we get from Junior as a defender. On the goals as well, you said about Ampadu. If you look at one of the goals, Madueke cuts inside. It's actually go back a step and you see Connor Roberts actually lets Madueke get 5 yards away from him, and that starts the move. So you could point fingers of blame. Look, as you said, Liam Cooper possibly one of his last games for Leeds now, starting anyway. But the left-hand side from a defensive perspective was weak, and it was targeted and defensively they showed it. But not to have a pop at them, I think Cooper did an awful lot of good things in the game as well. And Junior Firpo did a lot of really good things going forward. I did think it was interesting that you're saying that you thought Anthony was good. I wasn't in that bracket. I thought Anthony overcarried the ball. I thought he's too slow. There's no intensity with his game. He jogs back. He leaves Firpo completely exposed at times. Again, at lunchtime, we said there were certain players needed this game to show that they would be in Daniel Farke's plans for the rest of the season. Joe Perreault being one of them. Jaden Anthony, one of them.
Joe. Got an assist.
Yeah, no, he did get an assist. And I'm not talking about his entire game. He did get an assist. What I wrote down was, I wish Anthony passed the ball more often, because when he does, he's very, very good. But when he decides to carry the ball, he loses it, or he does the same move where he cuts inside and shoots. I'm not saying he had a bad game. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm saying there's things that he jogs back instead of sprinting back to help Firpo. He doesn't get close enough to his men, and he overruns the ball. But he's not alone in that. We have a lot of players that overcarry the ball, and tonight one of the negatives was overcarrying the ball. But there were so many other positives in this game. So many other positives. So yeah, look, no, they should be able to walk off that park with their head very high.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's no. Listen, we'll talk about maybe some individual performances. Sorry, I'm not gonna bite. I'm just breathe, Joe. I'm not gonna bite. Look, we will talk about some individual performances. Maybe Perreault. There's question marks over that. We can chat about Cooper and stuff as well. But Gary, what did you make? Turn my mic up. Okay, I'll turn it up. There we go. Sorry. What did you make?
There you go. Turn your mic up. Exactly what Jared was saying. The left side was difficult to watch sometimes. The thing about Firpo, he didn't do the simple passes well at all. It was the simple passes that he was messing up and had to recover from them. Other than that, a lot of people talk about, can Leeds compete in the Premier League with this squad? I think we've answered that. Realistically, okay, we got beat by $1 billion squad, but by God, we give it toe-to-toe, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. We did, mate. We
Not
did.
fair.
It was a great hold your head high performance, walk off the pitch, the better side, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think the second half belonged to us, mate, if I'm being totally
Brilliant.
honest. I just
And
want to... Go on, mate.
one more thing in that. Personally, Joseph was my man of the match.
Joseph, yeah, he was up there. We will get there.
Brilliant.
We will talk about some players a little bit later on. Before we move on, though, I just want to say, obviously, thoughts with the Leeds United supporter that fell from the top tier. I think when celebrating the goal, maybe he's fallen from the top tier. You can imagine it's pandemonium and that in there, but yeah, I hope he's all right. Apparently, he's with the emergency services. Leeds United have come out and said they're not going to make any further comment at this time. So hopefully he's going to be okay moving forward. But yeah, no, Mateo Joseph was great. I can't lie to you. Kev, let's come to you, mate. What are your thoughts on over the course of the 90 minutes for Leeds?
Just proud.
Yeah.
Toe to toe with them. There was a lot of good performances. I actually thought people dislike Cooper, don't they? But I actually thought he was quite solid, really well. And his passing was actually better than Rodon's, I thought, today too, as well, which was really strange. He put in a good performance, and it is going to be sad to see that it's probably going to be one of his last games for us. But yeah, toe to toe all over the pitch. It wasn't even our strongest team. I think if Rutter, Gruev, and everybody was playing tonight, I think we probably would have won. That's me being
Rutter kills them. Rutter kills them, Kev. He kills them.
He does. And that's what I got from the game. But I'm really proud that we took them all the way to the death. And yeah, there's not much more I can say, really. Just proud coming out. And I actually thought we were going to do them. I really did, especially when we went through. And we had chances. Cooper chance there. Joseph chance. Jaden Anthony. I actually thought he played well in spells, but I do agree with the tracking back. And sometimes he was holding on to the ball a bit too long. But he had a lot of shots too. And it just shows with the squad, they could probably carry themselves in the Premier League this year. And I've said it a few times. I think the Premier League is probably the worst it's ever been is this year. And I think Leeds would stay up in the league this year with the squad that we've got. I
agree. Yeah, I agree. No, I do agree with you. And it's, we've not embarrassed ourselves, have we? Look, Leicester went to extra time against Bournemouth. They've not. I don't know the Southampton-Liverpool result in the end, but I do think if them three teams were to go up, then, not a cakewalk, but yeah, there'll be some other teams.
2-0 Liverpool.
Is it 2-0 in the end? Yeah. Carl, mate, what do you make to it before we go through some little fine minutiae details?
Overall, I was happy with the performance. I like the lads. I just echo what the lads said. I think anything that we've shown tonight on a national TV basis was more than enough to say that we could handle ourselves in the Premier League at the moment. And I think, considering that we didn't have, like you said there, Jorginho tears him up if he comes on. He's game changer. I've always been under the impression that the top six in the Championship and the bottom six in the Premier League, you could have a mini league between them, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing between them all. And I think we're slightly above that at the moment. I think we have the potential with the players we have at the moment, without putting on any additions in the summer. I think we're pretty much, 5th, 14th, 13th, easy in the Premier League. I think because the teams below them, it's not great. And I think tonight proved that we're well able to kind of look at it and go, yeah, we need maybe 5 additions to the squad, not just the starting 11, to be able to comfortably compete, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's shown that tonight that we can compete, because you've got to remember that Nonto doesn't start, Somerville doesn't start. I thought when they came on, they were going to win the game for us, in all honesty, but it didn't turn out.
I generally thought Bamford was going to come on for Pirro at some point and put Joseph just behind him to see how that would have went for the.
Be interesting.
But see, I like the both Somerville and Nonto coming on, but I'd have preferred Somerville put out wide and Willie in the 10.
Same.
That would have been my preferred kind of swap there, because
I agree.
I think Willie has that. He has that pass. Like when he backs into a player, he bullies them off the ball, and then he turns on it straight away and he looks for the pass. And I think that's what we're missing in that 10 role when Rutter isn't in there, is the pass just out wide or down the middle. And I think Willie has that in him, whether it be a lofted pass or a pass along the ground. I think he has it. And I think personally, I think that's the change that should have been made in there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I do want to make, just because, like I said, there's not loads for us to pick the bones out of tonight. But Jake's just made a great point here, and I'm not advocating this, but what I will say is, if there is a knock to Bamford, I would much prefer Joseph to be playing in the 9 than Pirro. I don't know what does anyone disagree? Or?
At the minute, yeah.
After
I've been saying it all year, though. Like, the bits that we've seen of, we said this before Christmas even, Joe, like the bits that we've seen in Mateo Joseph were, can he hold the ball up? Yeah, he can. Can he press? Yeah, he does. Very quick. He's got pace. Can he read the game? Second goal proves he can. That's an incredibly mature finish. Not to put too much on the head, or a little glance into the far corner. It's an incredibly mature finish. He doesn't lose the ball. Comes into his feet, it sticks. His link-up play is excellent. He's a kid, but he's playing for a very talented England under-20 side, and he scores goals for that side, and he plays in that side on a regular basis. So we've got a player on our hands that's there. We talked about Jurgen Klopp at the weekend, trusting kids. Daniel has to trust him now. He's given a performance there to me that says, and that wasn't against a weak Chelsea backline. He's some very, very good players back there as well, and he looked fine. I think that if you look at it now, Joe Pirro just isn't doing enough for me to be in this side.
Yeah, I agree.
Not enough. I thought he lost the ball too easy tonight as well, and again he goes missing. I thought the first 20 minutes he was actually really, really good. I think he just drifts out of the game. Where Mateo Joseph's running around, he's looking for the ball, he's trying to be involved. When he isn't getting it, he's trying to get it. It's like with Georgina Rudder when he was in the number 9 position when he wasn't getting the ball, he was coming deep looking for it. Like, he wants to be involved in the game, and Mateo does that very, very well. The 2 finishes tonight, one's a very instinctive split decision, no panic, puts it in the back of the net, and the second one is an incredibly mature to read the flight of that ball, to get between the. We talked about Bamford occupying centre backs. He runs between the 2 defenders, and it's a lovely little glance. For me, I think if Bamford can play, I have no issue with starting Mateo Joseph.
I did like the fact that Joseph, when he did lose the ball, he was the first guy right back on the defender to get it. He was throwing the head up. He was boom straight in. And I did like that wee kick over the head to Anthony. It was fantastic. I thought that was brilliant.
He's got a swagger, doesn't he, though? He has a swagger about him.
He looks so natural.
Yeah, it's like Archie as well. When you look at them and go, they know they can play at this level, or they believe that they can play at this level. There's no doubt in their head that I shouldn't be playing in this team. They play with a swagger about them that says, of course I'm starting. Why wouldn't I be starting?
Do you ever look at Archie and go, stop being so good, Archie? People are going to come in and buy it. Stop being so good. Archie, just relax.
Like, Jared, we had a chat previously about, the Pirro kind of there last Friday night. He was doing a bit of a Bamford thing, closing down a little bit, but not to the extent that Bamford would.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I asked the question then, I was like, do you think as Pirro watched what Bamford's doing,
he has to have
to try and get himself in the team and make sure he sticks there? But I think Joseph has done that more tonight than Pirro has done, and he's got more experience. Does that say a little bit more about Pirro than we're kind of looking at?
I think it's a style of player as well, though, isn't it? I think, like Mateo, I think we said this again earlier on, Joe. There are players who have a certain amount of ability, and then there are players who need to work that bit harder to make it. I think Pirro has a back catalogue of goals that suggests he's a made player, even though he's only 24. And I still think Pirro will come good. I still think he's got time, but I'm not ruling him out by any shadow of doubt.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I think Mateo Joseph needs to work harder to prove everybody that he deserves to be in that team. And I think you see that in his performances. When he comes off the bench, he's buzzing around the park. He's trying to make an impression every single time. And tonight he did the exact same thing. So I think Pirro, maybe the price tag, maybe what he's done at Swansea, kind of thinks, maybe I should be in this team because I'm a top player in this level. Where Mateo is trying to tell people I should be in the team, and I'm going to show you why I should be in this team. I think he's doing that really, really well. So, but this is the point of having people like Liam Cooper in the dressing room. This is the point of having people like Luke Ayling before he left. The point of having Patrick Bamford. These younger players are supposed to be learning off of these players. They're supposed to pass them on. Stuart Dallas as well. So from a positional perspective, you've got you hope Charlie Creswell's learning off Cooper. You hope that Mateo Joseph is learning off Bamford. Jorginho spent an awful lot of time with Bamford this year as well, so you can see that kind of with them as well. So that's these players are at that point in their career where they should be given back now and trying to pass this on. The big question is always, are the young players receptive to that, and are they willing to learn? Do they want to learn? I keep saying the word growth all year. do they have the ability to grow? Do they show that growth? Mateo Joseph has shown that. Archie Gray has shown that. And that's fantastic to see.
But with Pirro, you have to realize as well, he's barely played and he still hit double figures this year.
Yeah. He still contributed. Absolutely, he has.
He's doing his part.
But there's elements to his game that he can definitely improve, because you've got the likes of Joseph coming on going, this is what you need to do. Yeah. And he's questioning Fark starting him now on Saturday, potentially, if Bamford is actually injured. Yeah, I think it has.
But maybe that needs to happen. Maybe Pirro's getting laid back on. Nobody's going to take my spot. Oh, flip. Right. Yeah. Okay. Damn. Maybe I need to step it up here.
You'd have kind of hoped that when Bamford was playing so well, you'd have kind of thought Pirro would have kind of gone, well, maybe that's what I need to do a bit more of. But he doesn't seem to have gone, I'll switch that on there and I'll do a bit more running and a bit more, closing down quicker in the spaces and stuff. And it's like, it hasn't happened. But Joseph has kind of gone, I'm doing that now. This is what I want to do. This is what I know I need to do to make it in this team.
Yeah. Hopefully Fark is in the dressing room telling him exactly what he needs to know.
Well, I think as a footballer, he needs to be intelligent enough to realise it. Sorry, Joe.
No, it's totally fine. I do want to talk about Archie Gray, because Archie Gray, I mean, I've mentioned it already, but for him to stand out as much as he did in a midfield that cost as much as it did, and listen, forgetting about the money back, like Enzo's just won a World Cup, right? And Archie's gone there and he's bossed it. Wow. What a performance, like, for him. I thought Ampadu was great in there as well, but Archie, special mention, obviously, for him to do that at 17
commentators going, is he really 17? Like, there's no way he's 17.
Playing like he has 300 appearances under his belt. What he said. And like, do you know what I really liked about this? There was one really big thing for me, because I've got to be in my bonnet with Don Goodman's man of the match with Jorginho Rutter a couple of weeks ago. And I generally have a problem with man of the matches, because it tends to be, he scored a goal and goals win games, so you're man of the match. And Joseph scores 2 goals tonight and plays really well, and you could argue he should be man of the match. However, Archie Gray's performance defensively, his contribution with the ball, the lack of giving the ball away, his involvement in the game, and the totality of the work that he did around the entire pitch and the whole game screamed man of the match to me. And it was great to see a pundit like Lee Dixon go, there's a proper pundit who knows football, who ignored all the goals and went, that kid has been a standout player on that park tonight and deserves man of the match. And it's great to see that, because lesser commentators and lesser pundits would have gone, oh, well, that player scored 2 goals, he's the man of the match. So it's Archie's
first game in centre midfield
in
the whole season, basically, most of the season, and he came in naturally perfect.
You've got Caicedo in there as well, who again, ignoring the price tag, is an established Premier League centre and established as one of the best central defensive midfielders in the league. Didn't face Archie at all.
Thing is, though, we've always said, like, everyone on here tonight has said, we missed the Archie drive from midfield, and you could see it in there tonight. Like, he was literally, when he wasn't defending, he was carrying the ball forward and he was bringing players into it. And sometimes that like, I know Rodon and Ampadu are absolutely class in defence at the moment, and the FA Cup doesn't really count because but to have Archie there in midfield was like, I thought Roberts did enough to be able to absolutely cancel out any left winger that he's going to come up against in the Championship in any league game.
Sure. Yeah,
and for me, that's nearly encouragement just to put Archie back in midfield straight away. It just proved it tonight. That's top level.
Would you drop Kamara, Gruyev?
Look, let's be honest. Like, I think in that midfield, you got to look at it and go, how did we start getting better? We put Ampadu and Archie in that midfield. That's how we started getting better. I know after that it was, Kamara and Gruev, but that ticks, and it ticks really well, in my opinion. And I think that should be the midfield too. We can rotate it all day long, but I think we need Archie in midfield.
Great to be in the position, isn't it?
It's a good.
I don't agree. I don't agree. Not yet. I just want to, like, next season. Just my opinion. Like, I know he's amazing and all that, but I've just been so impressed with Kamara and Gruyev, and just But
can I throw a spanner in the work? What about sticking Gray out left and keeping Connor Roberts out right and sticking the 2 centre? Because the way it looks, Gray looks, he could do striker the way he's playing at the minute. Realistically, he stick him in nets. Screw it.
The 10 as well.
You know, but my argument is he was very good on the left, and then we've got a good solid right. Because Firpo, the last couple of games, he's frustrating me. Again, he's going back to his usual passes are weak, tackles are weak, stupidity, yellow cards. He's just annoying me.
I
He's
didn't
an
think
easy
he was,
banker for a bet, though, isn't he? For
I
a
didn't
yellow
think he
card.
was. Simon Johnson put something on Twitter where he said he sees the merits in Junior Firpo, and I'm ignoring the lad Premier League. And there were parts of tonight where I thought Junior Firpo was very, very good. And I think,
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I agree.
if you're in a team, I think, and I keep going back to this. I spoke this morning on my channel about Rasmus Christensen getting a new lease of life at Roma, playing as a right wing back, and they're playing 5 at the back now, and all of a sudden Christensen having great games there because he's attacking, not defending, and that's where his weakness is. I think Junior Firpo is a similar situation. I think if Leeds played with 3-man defense with wing backs, I think Junior Firpo is a fantastic asset there because the defensive aspect's not as important to him.
But
There was times tonight where I thought he stood up players rather than going to them because he's afraid of getting done. But the problem with that was it leaves a gap in behind and the balls were rolled in behind him. Then so he's kind of stuck in this. If you look at what Dan James does on the far side with Archie, he doubles up, gets back, closes, doubles up on them, so they credit those options. Jaden Anthony doesn't do that. Jaden Anthony doesn't get back and double up and doesn't give him that cover. Now it's not Jaden Anthony's fault. Firpo has to defend better. But he does have positive attributes that do help Leeds in another part of the pitch. And there's a lot of attacks that we put on, like even some of the assists that Jaden Anthony does, that overlap from Junior Firpo gives Anthony the room to cut back inside and put the ball in. So he does a lot of, there are strong points to his game. Unfortunately, the defensive aspect, and I think he struggled, again, not Liam Cooper's fault. It's an age thing, it's a pace thing. But not having Ampadu behind him to clean up, we've talked a lot about Ampadu cleaning up behind the back when Firpo does go. That wasn't there tonight, and Liam sits a bit deeper. So it's kind of horses for course. I think it's a victim of circumstances, maybe tonight more than anything else.
But what you're saying there, Jer, is we all know he can't defend. So Farkas should be going, right, Firpo, you're amazing going forward, but you're against Chelsea here. Maybe we'll stick Gray there because he can defend better. I appreciate you going forward with the smaller teams who sit back. You can't go, right, Firpo, Chelsea, go and defend. He's just going to get overtaken. And
But he did well tonight, though.
I thought he was
What
fine.
did he do?
But the goals did the third goal's a bit. I mean, if he steps out, if he steps to the ball,
both of them.
and there's points. I think there was a bit legginess there.
I was annoyed at Nonto because he could have made a challenge on Enzo and he just backed out, and then Enzo gave it to Gallagher. And
Joe, you could pick any of those 3 goals and you could point to the left hand
fair.
side of our defense and say that's their fault. But then you could go back 2 or 3 phases and go, well, actually, was it? Because if he does this and he does this, there's collective issues there for the goals that we've conceded. But to be fair, again, Chelsea have worked on Conor Gallagher's spin is a fantastic spin. It's a lovely finish as well, very, very distinctive finish. But there is that moment, like there was a spot right before the end of the game as well where Firpo was really close to a player and he kind of just went past him and Firpo kind of just stood still and looked at him. You're kind of going, tune in, Junior. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Game is still happening. Let's wake up. There's just moments, I think, where he gets a bit tired. He switches off for a second, and that's unfortunate. But he's definitely been a lot better than he was. And there's definitely
100%.
improvements there.
Well, Lee Dixon said it like, Junior in the Premier League and whatnot, and it was a different Junior. He also praised Meslier. There's a lot in the chat about Meslier, talk about Meslier, but again, I thought it was fine tonight. I don't know. What was
Excellent. Did very
Yeah,
well.
I'd say personally, Firpo was my only scrape. Other than that, the team was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm nitpicking at Jaden Anthony going, I wish he passed the ball more. But then there's days I say about George Junior Rudder as well, going, just release it. Because when you do, and I'm kind of saying it, not that Anthony was bad. What I'm trying to say is when he passed the ball early and moved, he was very good. So keep doing that. Do more of that and less of the carrying. But he wasn't on his own. There was so many times, some of it at the end as well, where you're just thinking, yeah, you've beaten a player, you've taken it 3 or 4 yards. Now pass it, because someone's made a run. And we carried that extra yard forward and we get smothered and we lose the ball. And you're like, you could have avoided that,
Yeah.
But that's youth as well.
Just on the chat as well, like those saying, Melier concede, like goalkeepers concede, people. Goalkeepers concede.
If it gets to the keeper,
there
was a mistake somewhere else in the field.
Correct. He gets no credit when we keep a clean sheet, but when we can see goals, it's all his fault. Like the balance is miles off, lads. Come on.
Like
GoFundMe pays for
regardless of where Chelsea are in the Premier League. they've got like £1 billion squad. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
You're
I
going to
hear you.
concede goals. And we played
It was definitely not the 4 centre backs' faults or the 4 midfielders or the strikers. It was all Melier. The Melier. That's it.
Yeah.
The guy falling from the stand, Melier's fault.
We should just play with a goalkeeper. Just put nobody in goal because I mean it's his fault. So if he's not there, like okay, I mean we probably win more
Fine,
games
like-
with no goalkeeper. You know, take him out.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean even the commentator said it himself. Ilan Melier has benefited from a year in the championship. He looks far more composed than he
Yeah.
did the last time he was here.
He
And
did a
then you go
Cruyff
back-
turn. He did a Cruyff turn in the game.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah, I
usually
mean, come
Why?
on, you're right.
I
Yeah.
freaked out
relaxed,
at
isn't he?
that.
I
100%.
had no issue. I thought distribution was very good.
Yeah, same. Listen, folks, we've got 1,500 people watching, 350 likes. So if we could get the likes smashed, that'd be great. We've got a couple of super chats in as well. Toby says, wasn't a bad defeat, respectable. Just need to focus on the league. Next up, Huddersfield. And that's it. We've got 12 cup finals now. Leicester also have that, but they now also have a quarter final against Chelsea. Of course, I'd have preferred to have been there. I can't lie, but one of the saving graces is it's one less game of football for Leeds United to play, and the main aim of this season is to get promoted. Badger says, I'm in the twilight zone. Leeds fans laughing in a post-game loss video. What a difference a year makes. Exactly, that's what I mean. This will have no dent on our confidence going into the rest of the season, and I think it'll be the same for the lads. And,
Yeah.
you know, if we'll find out tomorrow probably, but like as long as Rutter and Bamford and that are good for the weekend, we go to John Smith's or whatever it's called these days and absolutely new to them. Do you know what I mean?
Pedigree Chum Stadium. That's
Yeah,
what it's
exactly.
called.
That's
I was waiting on it.
yeah, so you know, no one's. Is anyone concerned about this having an impact on Saturday?
No, I
Not
thought
at all.
Friday would have an
was.
impact on today, but no, I'm not worried.
I
Oh.
was scared that it was going to kick the confidence out of us. As I said to you in the last game, Joe, I wanted the kids just get the defeat out of the road, but that was a good defeat. That was a very positive defeat.
I think if anything, we take that into Saturday and go, they just about beat us. Just about beat us. Like they had to score in the 91st minute to beat us. I'd be taking that as a very, very positive result, considering that we didn't
That's the
start.
level.
Yeah,
That's our level now.
Absolutely.
Don't drop it. That's our level. Keep going.
yeah, 100%. That's the mindset now. We can match it there. Just carry on.
You're just looking at LUFC data, put the stats out for the second half. Leeds had 59% possession. They outpassed Chelsea by 90 passes. They had an 89% passing accuracy. 121 duels versus 17, 9 tackles versus 5 accurate crosses versus 2, 3 corners versus 2. So very unlucky in the second half. Leeds were the better side to the eye and on the stats as well in the second half. Yeah, it's great to see us go up against these teams. And this is the thing that I'm starting to like about Daniel Farke. And this is the evolution of the squad over the course of the year. Start of the year, I think this is a very monotonous, slow performance. I think now you look at where we come since the turn of the year and we went for it. Like we went at them. Like, it's like we're not going to sit back against you. We went for them. And it's great to see that because I really enjoyed watching that game.
Yeah.
See if you didn't know anything about value of football. If you were neutral coming in and watching that, and you watched Ampadu versus Enzo, and you said to this random, which one's worth 110, 119 million?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you reckon they would know?
No, exactly. That's what I mean. He didn't look out of. He didn't look
Not
out
at all.
of sorts.
Great game for Ampadu as well. Yeah, another
That
consistent.
could be one of the biggest regrets yet, letting Ampadu go. I'm not saying it, we go up next year and he bosses it a little bit and they're still in a limbo
We
stage.
paid 7
then
million for him as well. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's insane.
It's crazy. We
yes.
talk about having Spurs pants down with Jack Clark. We have their pants down with him at the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you agree? Because I've spoken to a few Chelsea fans in the lead up to it, and they've said like we could probably do with him in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Because outside of Enzo and Caicedo, they don't really have anyone that can play that role, and that's why they have to play 90 minutes again after playing 120 at the weekend. So, and listen, like you said, they weren't great. They weren't great tonight. The only, I think for me, I'm really proud. The only disappointing thing from tonight is to concede so late as we did. I wouldn't have minded some extra time, and better, like it is what it is. But it's double edged.
Keep the feet. It's over and done with. We got beat by Chelsea by a last minute goal.
Yeah.
We were the better squad.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, that's it. We were the better team. Move on, win the league.
If we were going to lose that game,
That's the best.
I'm glad we lost it that way, and not like 4-0 or
Yeah.
hit out again. There's an interesting. I'm just looking at Twitter here, and a Leeds United fan account called Leeds United 365 says, in response to Sky Bet saying Archie Gray is currently trending in the UK after his amazing performance. This is a Leeds fan. Archie Gray, flash in the pan, part of our secret social media campaign to big him up to get a Premier League side to pay 100 million. Nah, no chance. Give it a rest.
There's some wild.
That's got to be.
What are you watching?
That's
What are you watching? How
Bro,
is that?
There was someone, I did a YouTube short from months back when there was a Leeds fan in my comments saying that he was only getting picked because of his name.
Get away.
So we've all been there, man. There's some wild takes. I can't lie to you.
Is that the same
tell
person
me-
who blames
tell
the
me you
keeper
know-
for everything?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Tell me you know nothing about football without telling me you know nothing about football.
Phenomenal tonight. I think the only one is Pirro. Pirro, I get
Yeah.
at one point, and I haven't done this yet this season. I said, just take him off now. Just take him off because he's just misplacing passes. He's too cumbersome. Yeah, I'm not.
See with Pirro came in. The squad's here wrecked at the start when Farke came in. Pirro came in this profile, but the team's done this, and they've just got better and better and better. And I think Pirro's just did the same.
Yeah.
Because we have the same argument every week. He just needs to learn to do this. He needs to do that. He needs to do what Bamford's doing. It's a repetitive conversation with Pirro.
But there is the argument as well, right? That a player, like you said, I agree, he came in here and it went up to there. But there's an argument to say that a player of his stature will always learn from better players around him because that's how players get better. And maybe he needs that settling in period where he's like, right, okay, this is my role within the team and I know how to get better at this because I'm surrounded by better players. I found growing up myself, I moved up a little level every now and again. I always improved. So you kind of have to look at it like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not disagreeing with what you and Joe are saying, where he did have a slightly bad game by his standards, but again, he's up against a Premier League team playing in a number 10 role where he's the week before, he's playing in a 9 role, and it's just, I think good players make players better, and I think he has that in him to just be like that.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think like the chat's saying, like, players have come in and grabbed the bull by the horns, and Mateo Joseph's done that now, and he for me has usurped Pirro, so if he's not careful, it might sound wild, but he might be moving on in the summer, and we might be looking elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? So.
Do you think Firpo has this chat with the players like a motivation? So, for example, every single player that's come in with Pascal, you got Gruev coming in. Do you think he's had a word with him and says, listen, make this your own? James got injured. Nando came in and he went, right, make this your own. Joseph's now come in and he went, make this your own. Like, do you think he's saying to these guys, hold this down, do what you have to do, and keep them boys out?
I think his actions have shown that, haven't they? His actions have shown that when players have come in and done well, they've stayed in.
That's what I'm saying. If you do that, you'll stick around. I'll not take you out for the next game if you can show me that it's your spot.
Yeah.
I think.
Go on,
sorry,
Carl.
Joe.
No, go on.
I think any manager with any capability of managing players says that to them, because that always puts a drive in their bonnet and it just keeps them going. Like we saw the Willie Nando resurgence. Same thing. You can guarantee he's taken them to one side and gone, I'm not dropping you till you have a bad game.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a bad game, I'm not dropping you. So we've seen the way it's worked on Willie. I've no doubt that a good man manager would. But I've no doubt a good man manager would do that. Like,
and send to the other boys as soon as he has a bad game. Remember, you're in. Prove that you can keep him out. Be ready.
And it's clear that Nonto is the starter now, with James starting tonight as opposed to Willie, isn't it? Because there was maybe a conversation over that, but it looks like he's the guy. Listen, we're coming up towards the end. I think the main bit from what everyone's had to say tonight is just, we're proud of the lads. It's a great performance, and we move on to Saturday. Is anyone wants to, anything that we've missed that they want to share before we finish up?
Was Millier blamed for the goal? No, I'm joking.
No. Let's not go down that. Let's not go down that road. Thoughts are with that fan, of course. Before we do leave, make sure you check everyone else's channel out, folks. Kev at Leeds House podcast, also seen on Not Another Leeds pod with the crazy Danny. So make sure you check that out. Constantly sending me reels, on Instagram, and I have to say to him, do you know, I say to him all the time, I go, don't get it. And he's like, what do you mean? I went, why are you sending me this? And it's a cat spinning round or something. And I'm like, I just don't get it. Please stop hurting my head with these weird ones that I have to think about.
Sometimes it gets me through my day.
Oh, really? Is it? He's a mad guy. Big up to Not Another Leeds pod. Yeah, he's mad. Yeah. To be fair, he got me through that walk, man. He basically carried me up Bailiff Bridge, ex-army and that. He was like, come on, we got this. So, yeah, top guy.
Is he American as well? Is he, Joe? As well?
Yeah. Let's go, Joe. He's a Marine. We got Carl at Ought to Know Better. Have you, Berardi and Coke, got anything in the morning? What's the plan?
I think might do a sneaky Berardi and Coke tomorrow evening.
Good stuff. Make sure you follow them. Gary, you've got a channel set up, I believe.
Yes, Football Talks.
Football Talks. There you go. Make sure you go check out Gary as well. Football Talks, and then we've got Joe at Leeds United. For your daily Leeds United news, have you prepared for the morning, mate? Is there much to speak about?
Can't tell you now. We got no views in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a couple
you gotta keep them wanting more. You gotta keep them wanting more.
There's a really, like I said to you earlier on, there's a really interesting one in today's news about Kocher, this kid that they've taken in on trial, who's got a bit of a pedigree. He's England under-17 international as well. It was on trial at Manchester United, scored for them when he was there. Was on trial at Arsenal, scored there. Is on trial at Leeds, scored from the 18s at the weekend. This kid's got a bit of pedigree about him as well. Part of the rebuild. There's a lot of rebuilding going on to the underage. So we've covered that this week with a couple of young players that Leeds are looking at bringing in for the 18s and 21s.
Good stuff. The future's bright, the future's white, and all that jazz. Smash a like on this video. Subscribe to all them channels as well. Big Irish contingent tonight, says Richard. Yeah, we're doing
all
it.
Three of us.
Taking over. We're not here to take part, Joe. We're here to take over.
Exactly, yeah. It's the accent, innit, man? I like it, man. I can't lie. We need some Welsh. Is anyone Welsh? Or do we have any Welsh content creators from a Leeds?
The whole Leeds team.
Yeah,
they're all playing for the team right now.
Yeah. If there are any Welsh people watching that are not content, you're missing a trick. So get it set up quick time, because there's a real opportunity for you to grab that now. So do it. Otherwise, I'll come on and start going. I think that's how they talk anyway.
Please don't. Get the Welsh ones on. Let them do it right.
Please don't touch me.
Love it. Great night as always. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we'll have White Rose Rivals. I got shouted at last week for pulling the show when they'd had some great results, but I was a tired man. And also on the night we'll have the final word as well, where we'll probably be able to speak to JT, to Luke, Rocco, all them that have been at the game tonight, by the way. So I hope they enjoyed it, and I hope they get home safely. And I have put a redirect on as well. I think for Never a Foul, I think was available after this. So please go on over there and just put in the chat, Just Joe Raid. Send one over there. And we'll see you in a bit. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.